I want to talk about haters, people that you have in your life that you think love you and care about you, like your boyfriend, your husband, your friends. And you're surrounded by people, even family members. You're surrounded by these people, and you notice something kind of interesting, though. You get this really kind of uncomfortable feeling about the things that they say and the ways that they behave, and you can't quite put your finger on it sometimes. Sometimes you do know what's going on, but you just hate to admit it because then that means you'll have to confront the person, and you don't really want to do that. But you cannot have a situation in your life where you have someone in your inner circle who's doing their best to sabotage your success or your happiness. And how can you recognize people like that? It's not really hard. Let's first talk about when the men do it. I mean, you got to look at statistically. I've been keeping up with these different studies, and they're saying that the majority of breadwinners, women are breadwinners in their households. For Black women, it's averaging anywhere between 70 and 80% of Black households. The Black woman is the breadwinner. Now, whether she is the sole person, she might be a single mom or she might just be single, period, or whether she's the co-breadwinner, but she just makes more money than her mate. The bottom line is, as we look at this, more and more women are in a position of making more money than their husbands. They have a higher achievement level in education. They have a higher position. They have a title at their job. They have more influence, and they have a bigger paycheck. Now, a lot of men say, "Oh, I don't care if my woman makes more money than me." And they might, really believe that they don't care. I'm not saying that they're conscious of these attitudes that they have. But the bottom line is, when a man feels like you're outshining him in some respect, he's gonna start behaving in some very, very interesting ways. The guys who are competitive with you, that those are the ones that you're going to see. They start trying to do little sabotage things. They're going to feel threatened, and they may feel jealous, and they may even be intimidated by your popularity or how they see you shine and your confidence, and what you've accomplished, the awards you get, and the acknowledgement and recognition that you receive, and things of that nature. And I remember a story a friend of mine told me about her boyfriend. They broke up not too long after this. She got a promotion at her job, and she was excited. So she came, and was telling him about it. Now, he had been trying for something and didn't get it, but that wasn't her fault. It wasn't like she was in competition for him. They were both trying to, up their grind. So she comes in the door. She tells him, "Oh my God, I got God called in, and I got this promotion, and now I'm going to be making like $30,000 a year more, and it's going to be great, and we can go on a vacation. We can do so," because she's looking at it as a benefit for them both, right? You know what he comes back with? "You only got that because they just needed a Black woman in a position up in the top, and you just a token." That's what he said to her. So to totally kind of deflate her and demean her accomplishment and make it sound like she didn't do anything to deserve this. She was only giving it because somebody wanted to have a token. That's the way he made it seem. So he was a total hater, and just really deflated her excitement and had her in a state of real confusion. It's to the point where, like I said, they just broke up because she just felt like she couldn't trust him then. um, Sometimes, you have a situation where you're married or in some, long-term relationship, and the two of you agree, well, she's going to go back to school, or she's going to take this promotion, and it's going to mean working longer hours. She might have to travel a little bit, something like that. And so she gets his buy-in to step up. He's going to step up. He's going to do more with the kids. He's going to do this and that. And initially, he agrees to it. But then he starts getting resentful because he feels like he's doing all the work, end quote. Not realizing that you think what she's doing is easy. You think it's fun. You think that she's doing that all by herself for herself. So I thought that was really interesting. So then another reason why your man might want to sabotage you is his own low self esteem. He's very insecure about himself. And when he sees you confidently making big moves and big strides and getting acknowledgments for what you know and what you can do, he feels like he's less than. He doesn't feel like, quote, the man. And so he's going to start coming after you, doing little things to sabotage your success and peace of mind. And I'll tell you some of those in a minute. Um, and sometimes they do it because you're getting all these kudos, right? Well, he likes being the center of attention. This is the same thing with your female friends. Suddenly you're getting all this attention. I remember a friend of mine. She went on a trip to Europe, right? And she's black, and she went with all these white girls, and they went to Ireland. And here, I mean, the girls, I mean, you got to remember, this was Texas. And so in Texas, the girls with the blonde hair and the blue eyes would get all the attention. Well, they're in Ireland now. And they went to a bar, like their first night there. Those girls got no play. No play. All the Irish dudes was all over my friend. She danced all night. They bought her drinks, and they would buy her friend drinks too, just because they were with her. But as far as them, the tables were completely flipped. So instead of her being the one who was getting ignored and barely talked to and everything, those girls were just absolutely livid because they weren't getting the attention. They were not the center of attention, and they didn't feel like they were pretty. And all these guys were coming, talking to this girl, and she was gorgeous. I'm telling you, it was a gorgeous young African American woman, and these guys was all over her like white on rice. So that I thought that was really interesting. And the rest of the time they were trying to sabotage her. Well, she gets bad grades in math, and just stupid little stuff like that. So when you have a mate, though, let's swing back to that. You got a mate, right? And you making big moves and you're trying to be successful. You thinking it's for the whole family. You thinking everybody gonna come up, right? So you busting your butt to do your best because that's what your parents taught you to do. To be on your grind, to be a successful person, whether you're a woman or a male, to be a successful person. But how does your husband, your boyfriend, your baby daddy, your boo thing, how does he show his resistance? They're usually very passive aggressive. He'll do stuff like, say one thing but do another. He tell you he's gonna do something, but then he magically doesn't do it right. It leaves you hanging. So then not only do you have to do what you were gonna do that was based on what he was gonna do, you have to backpedal and do what he didn't do either. So now you have to do both things. Or they interrupt you all the time with just nonsense. They constantly calling you at work about some stupid stuff, or calling you on your cell phone while you're in a meeting. Calling you about stupid, just like crazy stuff, like, oh, so and so won't stop crying. Well, which story do you think they're gonna like to read? I mean, crazy stuff. Not like the kid is dying or anything. I'm serious. These are stories that women have actually told me their husbands did, or they just don't follow through on stuff. Call honey, call the plumber, because the hot water tank is leaking or it's not getting hot enough or something, or the refrigerator repairman do this something, this and that. And when she comes back from her meeting and come back, he didn't do it. So now the food in the refrigerator is rotten and spoiled, and there's no hot water in the house, and he's just looking. I had a friend whose husband did that about their toilet. They had a two-bed bathroom home, but with all them kids and stuff in there, they was using both the bathrooms. Well, the main bathroom, the toilet was out, and instead of he didn't know how to fix it, he could have looked on YouTube and found it out. It wasn't hard, but instead of calling somebody to come and fix it, he didn't do anything. So when she got home, the toilet was still broken. Okay, well now it's after 5 o'clock. So what's she gonna do? So she had to take off work the next day and get somebody there to fix the toilet because her husband didn't follow through. So that's what I mean. They do these little backstabby kind of things, and the big one that they do is they have this what's called selective incompetence. I saw a clip, one of those Steve Harvey clips. I can't stand him, but this clip was interesting. This guy was admitting how he does it. Like he doesn't want to clean the bathroom, right? So he's saying on this recording, he's saying that what he would do is just, half do it or, just act like he didn't know what to do. And so his wife had to spend all this time explaining with him how to do it. And so finally she got so sick of that she just did it herself, and that was the game. That's exactly what he wanted to do. So she got this big time job where she's got all this pressure on her, and then she got to come home and clean the bathroom because he doesn't want to do it. I'm telling you, these guys, and let's not even talk about the ones who, say you want to lose weight or something. You need them to watch the kids so you can go to the gym, or you try not to eat candy or dessert. He come in the house with all your favorite desserts and everything, or suddenly he's so busy he can't watch the kids, so you can't go work out. Things like that. So they sabotage. They'll find some kind of way to sabotage your success and your goals. So when you have a friend, though, let's talk about your friends and what kind of stuff they do. I've seen girls have, you have your new boyfriend, right? Or you meeting these guys, and it's something about to jump off or whatever, and here she go. Oh, well, she used to be really, really fat, and she lost a lot of weight, and she looks pretty good now, but she used to be like a hippo. Okay, why would you need to say that? What is your point? Now, see, I know a lot of people, most women would be like, embarrassed and all this and that. I wouldn't. I would be like, heifer, what? So could lose weight. You know what you can't lose? That stupid mouth you got. You can't lose that ever because you're ignorant. And then we just would have went downhill from there, because I would have got ramped up and then it would have been ugly. You're not going to act like that, not with me. You're not going to do that. You could do something else, but you're not going to do that. Or they do something like, you got a nice dude and you trying to see what's going to, jump off with that. And then she's like, oh, come and meet so and so. He has a brother and he has a cousin, just meet so and so. Okay, so then if you're stupid enough to do it, then she going to run and tell the other dude, oh, I introduced her to so and so. And I think they're really going to hit it off. Knowing that this the first dude was interested in you and trying to get something jumping off with you. So she just ruined it. She just messing it up because she doesn't want you to have somebody that you're really happy with and that's really into you. Or they start spreading rumors. They spread rumors. That's a big one. That's really big on college campuses about what you did and who you did it with and where how oh, that's so childish. But then that's what they do. Or I don't know. You have friends who will actually even flirt with your man. They will flirt with him. I remember I was living with this boy. I had no business living with this boy, but suddenly I had this girlfriend who used to want to come over every day. Suddenly, she wanted to come every day to visit, and I'm like, huh? She's coming every day. She want to come. She was coming right around dinner time. And the first time or two, I was like, I was curious, but I wasn't really tripping. He didn't really like her, so he was like, making himself scarce when she came around. But she just kept doing it, and I was like, okay, you got to stop coming over here every day. What is this all about? And I didn't know what her goal was. I still don't know to this day because then she stopped doing it. But what was you? Why would you think even though to go to a couple's house every day in the evening when they just got off of work and that's their time to catch up and be with each other? What were you trying to do? I don't know what that was all about. Or you notice somebody be like, what's that one where the white girl, the roommate moved in and then she tried to take over the other one's identity. They start to copy everything that you do. They want to have the same hairstyle you do. They want to have the same dye their hair the same color as yours. They want to wear the same kind of clothes you wear. And it's like they don't want you to look better than them. You cut your hair in a cute style. Suddenly she cuts her hair in a cute style. You start, wearing the wigs or what hair pieces up. Suddenly she'd start doing the same thing. It's very interesting to see how that goes too. But that's a method of sabotage as well because they don't want you to look better than they do. It goes on and on and on, but the bottom line is you get the idea. When you have somebody who, instead of being in your corner and supporting you and, kind of helping you pump up for your dreams and be a successful person, they do everything they can to sabotage you. I've heard of men, like their wives have a presentation or something, right? Or going to school and they have a big test the next day, something like that. They need to study. they need to be in the book so they can get a good grade or make their presentation successful, organize whatever. And instead of doing that, he wants to pick a fight. So he's going to keep her up all night arguing with him so that she doesn't have time to do what she needs to be doing that's going to make her be successful. So the next day, she goes to sleep. She sleeps an hour or two, whatever. She's got to get up and do this thing. And she's exhausted. And of course, she's stressed out and distracted, which was his goal. He wants her to fail. So you guys, the whole point of this video is to bring this kind of stuff to your attention. Be on the lookout for these little sly, passive aggressive ways that men and women have to sabotage your happiness and your success. If you want to, put the brakes on that and put an end to it, there's a couple of things that you can do. A couple of things. First of all, you have to accept that that's what's happening. You want to be in denial. No, they wouldn't do that. That's my friend. That's my honey. That's my love thing. He wouldn't do that to me, you say, when he's very obviously doing that. He might not want to admit that's what he's doing, but facts speak for themselves. They don't never change into nothing else. They is what they is. So that's one thing. But then what you also have to do is once you recognize it, you got to stop making excuses for it. Okay, don't know this. Oh, he didn't mean it. He just had a bad day. He just feeling some kind of way because something, whatever. You have all these mental gymnastics that you do and hoops you jump through to try to justify his nasty behavior towards you or your friend's nasty frenemy behavior towards you. And I'm telling you, that's a silly thing to do. You are recognizing when someone's trying to shoot you in the back with, and keep you down. You need to accept that that's what it is. That's your reality. So, just be honest with that person. Tell them what the game is. You're not having it. That they need to stop it. That this is unacceptable. Those kind of things. Call them out on it. Say, I noticed that you're always doing this. You better stop doing this, or we're going to have a real problem in this relationship, and it might cause it to end. Because I'm not going to have somebody I'm supposed to be loving, and so like a sister, like my man, my husband, whatever, and you're doing everything you can to make me fail. We're not going to have that. I can love you, and I can be with you, and I can also do this. So stop feeling so threatened. That's not going to work. And if you want something from them, just like I said in the video last night, do not have this covert, having these covert agreements where you think something's going to be somewhere in your head and you haven't communicated it. So if you want something from your partner, then you need to tell him. Say, I need you to do this. I need you to stop doing that. And the same with your girlfriends. I need you to be like this and I need you to stop doing that if it's hurting you. Anything in their life, you don't have the right to tell them anything. But if they're doing something that's hurting you, then you have every right. And then, if they don't stop it, if they don't stop sabotaging you, belittling you, demeaning you, doing things to humiliate and embarrass you, all things that are designed to chip away at your self-esteem and confidence, and therefore they're sabotaging your happiness and your joy and your potential success. Because people who aren't confident don't try to reach for the stars. They stay, down low. That's where they want you. They want you shattered and your confidence and self-esteem shaken so that you won't even try to rise up past them. They enjoy keeping you down. It makes them feel better because then they don't even have to try so hard. But they're not seeing you being stellar, you just down in the mud with them. They're excited about that. They're happy. They have companionship at the bottom of the barrel where they are comfortable being, themselves. So if you have that kind of situation, you're in a romantic relationship, some people, even though they're not married, they still go to couples counseling. You can do that if you're married. This is called marriage counseling. And, but my thing is this, if somebody who's having a systematic agenda of sabotaging you, that person really doesn't like you that much. They may say they love you, but they don't like you, and they're not about you being successful, and they're not about you being the best person that you can be. So you have something to think about if this is your experience in your relationship. I know it's something that people don't really talk about that much, but I think, and during this month, February, I'm trying to hit on some things that people don't talk about very much and bring them out into the open. Partners who sabotage, men who sabotage their girlfriends and wives' success and happiness and intentionally try to mess them over and make them depressed and make them fail is a common thing. I'm sure some of you could share your stories in the comment section below. If you feel free and comfortable enough to do that, please do. And be around for the next show. We got What the Fuck Tuesday coming up and some guests coming this week. And I'm going to have somebody on talking about money on Friday on Valentine's Day. We're talking about financial stability and financial abuse in relationships. So some more great stuff coming up for you guys in Debruary. I hope you hang with me. Be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button on your way out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.